Hello everybody. A couple of people have asked for a tutorial on how I put together my lighted snow globes. So I'm going to do that really quick and I'll try to make it as fast as I can. So what I've done is I've cut all my pieces, okay? In the PDF that you got with your file download, it should tell you the sizes of the pieces that I've used, but on my outer and my insides I've used 1/8 inch. On my back piece I have used 1/4 inch. I just like the stability a little bit more. You can use 1/8 inch. Your light pack will stick out just a little bit more than it does right now, but I like using 1/4 inch on the back and 1/8 inch everywhere else. For the acrylic I have used proof grade medium, 1/8 inch, however, whatever you have that's going to fit accordingly to this. So if you only have 1/4 inch and you got 1/4 inch acrylic and you want to use that, you can do that. Completely up to you. So it's not really going to mess with the design too much. What I've done is I have taken my middle pieces. I have literally just cheaply super glued them together. This is just for me to be able to tack these down because the way that I finish it's going to be different than the way everybody else finishes it. I actually do put more of a heavier glue, and then I do out the sides where you don't get these lines. And so mine's not perfectly lined up, but I go back and I do wood filler. I do wood glue over it. I do everything to make this as stable as I can. So for right now, this is just to tack all this together. The best glue that I've found to do all that is the cheap Dollar Tree glue. Literally. I have used super glue. When you get to your acrylic, it does leave like a fogginess if you get too much on there. So I have just simple, literally Dollar Tree super glue. So going to the acrylic, since we've tacked this to the back, see, that's just all tacked together for the time being. I've got 3 pieces of acrylic. The reason I designed 3 pieces of acrylic is because I wanted to be able to do different colors, but get them painted quickly. And yeah, so I decided when I designed this that I was going to put my tree as the back. Then I'm going to put my truck. Okay. Now, if you notice, these are completely done right side up. Once I pull them off of the forge, I leave the masking on. I spray them with spray paint. That is spray paint on acrylic. And I let them completely dry for 24 hours. So this truck being my back piece, I know that I'm going to have a smooth part on the back, so you're not going to have dust or anything that can collect on the rough engrave of the acrylic. So when I design my front piece, and I did this in AI, so if you were modifying this to have, Merry Christmas on it or whatnot, on your front panel, you're going to want to invert that image. So and it's good, so it'll engrave on the back. If you have wording, it will engrave inverted, mirrored, however you want to say that, so that when you put this together, you have a flat, smooth surface, and you're not going to have that engraving on the outside. So what I've done is I have gone through, and let me try to get a close-up of this, okay? All these little itty-bitty pieces right here, I have literally taken a razor blade, scalpel, utility knife, and I've scraped all these raised edges, okay? I've done some of this previously, and then that way I can peel up this tape. Again, I've let this dry completely. This one's dried 24 hours, but you don't have to let it dry 24 hours, but as long as it's to the touch, dry. And see, I'm just peeling basically that tape off. I've already done a lot on this one, so I just wanted to show y'all how I get that little bit of detail and tape, the tape off and detail in there. So when you go and you get down towards the end, it makes this peeling off a little bit easier, and you don't have to fight with the cleanliness of your acrylic, because the trick is you really want to keep this acrylic clean, because when you light it up, it will show every little bit. Okay, so my truck is done. You can wipe it off. I usually just wipe it on my pent leg or whatever. I'm going to leave the masking on there for the time being, and I'm going to go to my bottom layer. So on here, there's really not much cleanup on it. I'm going to go ahead and peel off my back. get it off. Okay. I'm going to peel off my front, and I'm going to be very careful, make sure I have nothing on my hands, to try not to get anything on that fresh acrylic. Okay. Got a little bit. It's cold here, so y'all are going to see some like residue come up on the thing just from the heat of my hands. Okay, so I am literally going to put the smallest dot that you can ever put on there because, again, we are just trying to get this set for the time being. So I'm going to put just a tiny dot on these little guides and down here in the corners. Okay? So now I'm going to peel my red, being very careful of not getting anything, especially on that back piece, because you're fixing to sandwich it together. And all I'm doing is just peeling my acrylics off. And once you scrape that, it helps that back. You see that truck is nice and clean, your lines. So I'm going to set it on there and line it up while it's nice and clean. Okay. And then we will do the same thing for the front piece. Making sure that you try to keep it as clean as possible because it'll make it easier on you in the end. So I've already pre-taken out the little parts of my snowflakes. I think it's just easier to do that before the full masking comes off, because again, you can keep it nice and clean. So I'm going to peel this. I'll peel the back, and again, I'm going to tack it down just to kind of get all that acrylic in place. Now, you make sure you do not use a whole lot of super glue on this, just for the fact that if it runs down here, I don't know if y'all can see where I'm talking about. If it runs down here, you're going to be able to see it. So I am literally just putting the smallest dot I can on the very edges. Up there on that guide, and then down there on the bottom. And then, of course, I am flipping this where my engraving is on the inside of this one. This is why I have this set up that way, because I wanted the smooth edges. So once that's tacked down, you can pick it up. We're good to go. Back's a little dirty just because my workbench is dirty. Excuse that. But that's all tacked together now. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my back piece, and I am going to tack it in. Again, using small little deals of glue. Using my guides. These guides kind of are a little wonky, and I do apologize about that. Never thought I would end up selling that file. But they're going to go right up against that hole, push all the way up, and then I'm just going to look at my sides right here. Make sure that they're somewhat even. All right. So that's in there. The last thing that we have to, well, not the last thing, lights. Let's talk about lights. Everybody's having problems finding lights. I have gone to the Dollar Trees in my area, and now they have sold out of a lot of plain ones. But if y'all go to Dollar Tree and y'all see these ones, guess what? These will work as long as you read right here that it's the color you want. They come in blue, red, everything else like that. So I know the snowflakes that are on there, that's a blue. Kind of made that mistake one of the last times. But these literally just pull off. Okay? So I'll pull those off and I'll put them off to the side. This is a 10 count light. I was using holiday time lights from Walmart. I had bought some, and apparently they were an old version and they don't make the 10 count anymore. So I had to find alternate measures. So these work perfectly, okay? You're going to put them in the back. And I like doing this. I usually put my battery pack in, but I'm not really worried about it right at this moment because I'm trying to get this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this around. Just feed it around, okay? The key to this, my combination is 4, 2, and 4, giving you the 10 lights, okay? So you're going to want to remember head to toe. So once you first start doing this, it's kind of wonky, but I'm going to take that first lot and I'm going to put it right up by that guide, and I'm going to stick it in. So now you're just going to work your way head to toe. So head, toe. I'm going to put the head to the toe of that one. Get my lots out here. Head to toe, that's number 3 there. And they will fit tightly in there. Just work your wires. And then head to toe here. And when you get to this corner, be a little jicky. But all you gotta do is work your wires down in that little groove right there. And my hemostats have disappeared now. So you have 4 lights. Excuse me 1 second, I'm gonna grab my hemostats. Or even better, just a flathead screwdriver. Okay. If you want to tack these down with glue, feel free. I don't, just because I usually go a little bit faster than this, but since this is a tutorial, I want to make sure that we're all covered. So all you do is you take your lights down into that groove. Okay. When you go over here, we're going to go kind of head to toe again, but I'm going to push this down and bring this back. So I'm still, actually, let's go the other way here. Still going the same direction, the head to toe. I do not like where those lights are sitting, or those wires are sitting. I'm sorry, guys. And I hope y'all can see this. That's good enough right there. So there's my 1 down here. Again, head to toe. 2 down here. Tuck my wires in. Then we're going to go feed it through there. And I'm going to go backwards on this, just so, because it's a little bit easier when you lay your lights in. Head to toe, head to toe, head to toe. And then the last one, you just kind of got to work your wires. It will all fit in there. You just got to kind of stuff them down. And your battery pack is installed. Okay? So you can tack them down with glue, hot glue, super glue, whatnot. Just make sure you're not getting it on the acrylic. The last thing to put it together, I'm just going to take super glue around my edges just for the time being, because again, I go back and I finish these out with a big old layer of wood glue around the edges. Once that dries, I then do my favorite wood putty that I've used for years. Okay, when you press this down, make sure you lift it up, because that light pack is going to come out the back just a little bit. Make sure your holes are lined up. Press it down for a couple seconds and voila. And what you get is this. Completely done. I will remove these and put batteries in these before I send them. The reason why I didn't finish my backs is because I do the wood glue and the wood filler and stuff like that. So I protect my front. I'll put masking tape over my front, and then I'll go back and I'll carefully just do it by hand. And I will go in with wood glue, and I'll put wood glue. Once it's dry, I mix up. Let me show y'all my favorite putty. Which, let me get it where y'all can read it. This is my favorite putty. Home Depot sells the big ones. They do sell smaller ones. And let me show y'all what it looks like when it's dried. This is actually 5 pieces of 1/4 inch Baltic birch. And that's what I use most of the time, is Baltic birch. But I have literally, after I've glued them and tacked them together, I've gone through and I have mixed up this putty. I fill it in, kind of gives you that clean, smooth look. I sand it down a little bit, and then I stain it, and then I do seal it. I use a shellac a lot on there. But if you are sealing something like this, I'm going to have to tack that down a little bit better. If you're sealing something like this, you're going to want to protect your acrylic, okay? Don't spray over your acrylic or anything like that. But if y'all have any questions, y'all know y'all can message me. I'll help you through it. I hope this helps. Sorry it's a long tutorial, but thank you all so much for the file and the amazing feedback. It made me feel so good. So we hope y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to y'all soon.